and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be recapping my market that was on March 30th. This was an event that I was supposed to do in December that was supposed to be rain or shine. That got canceled because of rain, go figure. So they gave everybody like a credit toward their spring market, which was on the 30th. And yeah, so spoiler alert at the top of the hour here, it wasn't great. I don't think I'll be doing any events with this person again. I guess because it was going to be a December event, I felt okay paying like $50 for a 4-hour event, but in spring that felt like overkill. I didn't have to like repay or anything, but like thinking about it now, I'm like, why would I do that? Because there's plenty of events in my area that are like, you know, $50 for like 6 to 8 hours or less dollars for like 6 to 8 hours. In fact, I think I paid $100 for 10 to 5 and 10 to 4 2 days in a row for like a big market, and this was like 55 like with tax and everything. So this was like beyond what I would normally pay. So I didn't love that, and then the organization was just pretty terrible. There's really no other way to put it. And I'm like at this point like a little sick of that this year, because like you can't have, you know, rules and then change the rules like the day before the event, because you've always been allowed to pull into this venue to like unload, but then the email comes on Thursday/Friday that they're not letting anybody like pull up to their spot. So if you want like a good spot in the parking lot, come early, like at 7 a.m. they recommended, even though the event didn't start till 10. I've previously never shown up earlier than like 2 hours before an event. We had to like adjust our plans to show up 3 hours before the event. Mind you, this is over an hour drive for us. So it's just like a lot. And then all this to get there and just be allowed to pull up right to our spot and unload. Yep. And then after the event, they posted about record numbers. That must have been record dollars for their like profit on this from like all us vendors paying, because at multiple times throughout the show, there was more vendors than there were customers. So this was not like record traffic at all. And I know I haven't done events at this venue before with this coordinator, but I had people around me who have that I was talking to. My friend, the whole reason I found this event in the first place, has done this show before, and she's like, that's not record numbers. There was a lot more at the last one I did. I'm like, yeah, this seems like a person who's just trying to cover their own, just because this was a little bit of a flop. And it's okay to have flops. I've had like whole flops on events just from my own, you know, lack of experience. Sometimes I will see an event and think, wow, that seems like a good idea, and then I'll go, and then it's just like not my customer base, my demographic, you know, so I won't make that much money. And then I've had flops where like I didn't know it was gonna rain, and so I've had to like adjust my like stuff inside my tent at like the last minute, which can like affect flow of traffic, which can affect people coming into your event to like buy things. So like things happen, but like you do what I do and just admit like I messed up. Like for my February event where all my stuff got like knocked to the ground in the mud. That was my mess up. I didn't love the coordination then, but the fact that my stuff hit the ground, that was pretty much on me. I should have taken my stuff off my walls and put it in a tote and covered the tote if I was going to leave it in there overnight. So like lesson learned, but like we got to be like willing to admit we've made a mistake to be, you know, able to correct it for future. And so I just didn't love that. I don't love dishonesty is what I'm getting at. But I will tell you what I sold now that I've had this big spiel. We'll start with the gibbets and the stickers. I sold like $9 worth. That's my only like non-crochet thing, so I just wanted to get it out of the way. Then I sold an alien and a UFO for $30 to a kid. He thought it was Yoda, so that like works out because it's non-trademarked, because it's not Yoda, but he thought it was Yoda because he was like 2, so he was really excited about it. That is the lady who does like the Weeby aliens. This is like a different version of a Weeby alien, so instead of being like the full alien body, it's like the Weeby alien head and then a UFO. I sold a big leggy frog for $15. I sold a rooster. I think this is the like Hero Crochets rooster for $18. I sold my like 3 lavender bouquet for $15. The lavender tutorial is on my channel. I'll put it somewhere on the screen and in the description. I sold who's the designer? Oak and Marlow. I sold an Oak and Marlow chicken for $15. I sold a mini frog, which is like my version of Katie Being Creative's mini frog pattern from Ribbler for $8. I mean, it's her pattern, but I changed like the orientation of it. She goes like bottom to top, I think, and I go top to bottom with it, or vice versa. Either way, I like take her pattern basically and flip it because I feel like it looks better that way, but it's like her pattern. But it's just like my variation of her pattern. But yeah, I do those for $8 in like plush yarn. I sold one of my mini mushrooms, which I'll link that tutorial somewhere and down below, for $8. I sold an All From Jade plush mini octo for $8. I sold a cable and canvas pot mushroom for $13. I finally sold my rainbow fish for $20. I also sold an All From Jade mini octo and worsted weight yarn for $5. So that's 20 items sold for a whopping $164. I basically almost beat that in the rain at a show like last month, so I'm not loving that. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I mean, I did pretty good considering the amount of people that were there, because they're really like noon, a little before noon to a little after 1, there was like a good influx of people, but that's because like families came out for the Easter egg hunt. But you can like literally see the like peak here a little before noon, and then like a little afternoon, where there's like a big spike. And then everyone was getting there kind of about this time. So this is pretty much where like all my sales took place. That's like, they came for an Easter egg hunt. There was like a free Easter egg hunt in like the field. So like all of the families got there then to the Easter egg hunt. The Easter egg hunt ended at 1, and then everybody left. And you could see that shown on the like little chart here. I had my big spike right as the Easter egg hunt was going to start, and then I had like my little spikes with like everything else right before the Easter egg hunt, and then there's literally 0 after the Easter egg hunt because like everybody later dazed right out of there. And I've got a feeling that my stuff's not the only one that looks like this. Plus, ooh, I didn't even mention it, hot tea. Out of like 40 vendors, maybe, because a lot of people didn't show up, so it was supposed to be like 80 vendors, but you could see like blank spots where like there was no tents. So out of like 40 vendors, essentially 2 rows of vendors, there was 3 crochet people. 3. And I'm not talking about like I do plushies, they do like towel toppers. I'm talking about all 3 of us did plushies. And you guys know, once we find a cute pattern, we tell other crocheters about it. So there was like overlap on our like patterns. Not all of them, believe me, definitely not all of them. But like the Oak and Marlowe chickens, because those are like really big. Me and one of the other people had those. Me and the like other one had like a bunch of different like variations of like octos. Bees, all of us had bees. I mean, of course we all had bees because like a new crocheter to seasoned crocheters making bees for events pretty much at this point. So I did not love that. And that was definitely not the case when I was doing it in December. So this just tells me that this event host only cared about collecting like booth fees and not stocking like a good event, because a tenth of your vendors don't all need to be in the same category. Like, what are we doing? And because there was only 2 rows, I was literally in a row with the crochet vendor. She was like only 5 or 6 down from me, and then she could literally see the other one right across from her booth. So like, what are we doing here? Why? I'm like getting tired of these like flop events this year. I'm being tested. I do have 5 coming up in April though, so fingers crossed. Pray for me. I just need some events that are like organized well, that are not filled with crochet people, that there's not rain. I don't think that's too much to ask, but for the love of sweet baby Jesus, please. But that is going to be all for this video. Listening to me whine, I appreciate it. I am glad I at least made back my booth fee. And because it was so slow, I did a little bit of shopping. So I at least, got that money back too. So it was all in all not a super profitable event, but I at least like broke even on my time for the stuff and like paying for the event and my like shopping. I got one of those like permanent jewelry bracelets and some like wooden coasters because they were cute. But if you like more crochet content, I'm going to link it somewhere, and I will see you guys in the next one. And yeah, goodbye.